Stitch Cuties, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and welcome to the live tutorial where we are going to stitch the front of our Spoolie Bird Starter Kit project bag. So behind the camera we have Mom, so she's going to be helping monitor all your comments. So make sure to comment, say hi to me, tell me if you're in Spoolie Bird and how everything's going for you. And then also behind the camera is Libby. So as we're going through the process, she's got some cool pictures that we'll show you throughout the entire process. So don't be shy, comment, give me some love if you want, and slap that little heart button. And of course, make sure if you're enjoying the live video that you click on the little bell so that you're always notified when we go live in the future, because we do go live quite a bit. So for those of you that don't know what this is, let me just show you. It's the front of the Spoolie Bird project bag. So Spoolie Bird is a quilt that's a block of the month here at Stitches of Love Quilting. A fun little fact about Spoolie Bird is it's the quilt that originally started our company all the way back in 2012, and it's had several iterations throughout the history of our company. And then this year for 2021, Mom / Julie, as you all know her, I call her Mom, and I'll probably call her Mom throughout the video, she kind of revamped the design a little bit, wouldn't you say, Mom? Kind of freshened it up, picked some really beautiful Lori Holt fabrics from our friends at Riley Blake, and the quilt is back for another round as a block of the month. So this time with the block of the month, when you join in 2021 and on, you get a little project bag kit when you join the club. So that sign up fee isn't really a sign up fee, it's for a really cool starter project bag. So for those of you that are joining us and doing that with your embroidery machine, that's what this tutorial is going to be today. So a little bit about how our embroidery is different. And that when you're doing applique on your embroidery machine, typically you cut like a square chunk of fabric, and your machine gives you an outline of the shape you're going to cover. You plunk that square down on top of it. It then does another line to stitch it and hold that fabric in place. And then you have to come back with embroidery scissors and cut around it and trim it. And then your machine has to do a pretty thick stitch to cover any kind of raggedy edges you might have from that. How we're different here at Stitches of Love Quilting is that our embroidery files work with the pre-fused laser cut applique pieces that you get in your kit. Pretty cool. And fun fact, I digitize all the embroidery files for you. So the original art that Mom draws then goes to me. I take it into the computer and I get it ready for the lasers, which cut out your pieces, and then of course get it ready for the embroidery machine. So all of your files are 100% based on Mom's artwork. Or if you're getting a project like maybe you're a member of YouTube or Snow Buddies, where we work with our friend Amy Brucken of Amy Brucken Designs, all of the embroidery files and the laser cut pieces are based on her original art. So lots of fun stuff going on here at Stitches of Love Quilting. And if you're new and you're just discovering us today, after you're done watching the video, because stay with me the whole time, don't leave me here lonely, then visit stitchesoflovequilting.com and you'll see all kinds of fun projects that we have for you. So like I was saying, our embroidery files are different because the machine gives you an exact outline on your project, and then you put your exact laser cut piece right in place. So for example, all the pieces that we got in our little kit, I'm not going to pick up all of them because if you watched my original tutorial for this, I dropped the dot on the eye. So today while we're live, I'm terrified of dropping that little dot on the eye. So I'm only going to pick up a few of the pieces. But Mom's laughing at me in the back. I dropped it before and I was like, oh no.
But it was right there.
It was right there the whole time, I just couldn't see it. It was funny. So like for example, here's your little bird cut out, the little wing, all of your pieces are cut to exactly the shape you need. And then the back, see how it looks a little shiny? I've gone on and peeled the white paper backing, and these are fused with heat and bond light. And fun fact, we have giant industrial presses where Robin presses the fusible directly to your fabric, and it's set to a specific temperature and a specific time. So every single piece that you get in your kit is perfect. I love it. Makes it super fun because you can just open your kit and get your pieces ready to go. So what you're going to have in your starter kit, I just want to show off on our patterns a little bit before I start the sewing. So every month when you're in one of our block of the months, the patterns come hole punched for 3 hole punches, and you get a binder cover and you get to put this in a binder. So by the end of your block of the month, you essentially have like a book about the quilt. It's really fun. So we give you detailed information about prepping your fabric, and then check out these giant diagrams we have for you, full color, so you know that you're cutting your fabric perfectly every single month. And then we get to our machine embroidery instructions. This is where we're picking up here in the live tutorial today. And you can see check it out. Now this is a new addition for I guess our last 3 or 4 block of the months, where we now have like these really cool custom icons that give you a little, you don't have to read as many words, if you will. It's very visual. It's like put your hoop on, take your hoop off. Very, very nice icons to walk you through all the steps. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now I'm going to set my instructions aside because hopefully I have this memorized. If I need it though, it's right behind me and I'll grab it.
Hey,
So
Brittany,
yeah, we got some friends on.
we do.
Okay.
We have Paula from Arizona,
Hi.
and we have from Victoria, Australia, Nancy Cook is on.
Oh, hey Nancy! I love when our friends from Australia are on. It makes me so happy.
Yes, and then from Kentucky we have Robin.
Hey Robin!
And Robin says she's so excited to start doing this. She
Oh,
thinks
good. You
she
think?
hasn't done much applique.
I'll convince you in this video.
So help her out.
It's really fun. So, well, you want me to go into the difference in the 2 types of applique real fast?
Yeah, I don't know which one Robin's doing.
Okay, so we have 2 ways for those of you that don't know, and Robin, I'm not sure which version you're in. So we have 2 ways. We have what we call a classic way, which is where you use your pre-fused laser cut applique pieces and you iron it using your placement guide onto your fabric, and then you go to your sewing machine and you use your favorite applique stitch there, so like a buttonhole stitch or what have you, and you guide and sew yourself. And then this way we call it plus, because you get your kit plus embroidery files that you download, and then the machine is going to do all the stitching for us, and you'll see that in a second. So for those of you that are maybe new to Stitches of Love, there's 2 different ways, and we did a live on Monday where Mom demoed doing it just the classic applique method. So if you're not familiar, stay with me, and then at the end of this you can go back and watch Mom's tutorial. Okay, that was my spiel. More?
Okay.
That's it?
No,
It's time for me to
now,
sew?
so you just get started.
Okay, cool. So the first step that we have white thread loaded in our machine. And I'll talk about the tools and notions as I sew today. But I know everyone's going to want to ask. I use a Brother Innovis VE2200. It's a Dreammaker XE machine. This is definitely not a base machine, but it's definitely not the fanciest machine either. The most important thing to me about this machine is that it allows me to have an 8-inch by 12-inch hoop, which is what we use on all of our Stitches of Love embroidery projects. You want 8 by 12 hoop. And then I always stitch with Sulky 40 weight rayon threads. So the 4 colors, well, of course we're using white, which I already have on my machine. And then the other 4 colors we're using on this particular project, look at these beautiful colors. So we have the fun pink. These are all 40 weight rayon threads from our friends at Sulky. These are the petite spools that come in all of our kits now. I love them.
Those are such pretty colors.
Aren't it? So the Spoolie Bird thread kit, I opened it and put it in my bag, but there's 10 colors for the Spoolie Bird quilt, and they are just so gorgeous that actually we want to repaint the office in those colors. That's how much we love them. And then we're going to use the teal, and then we're going to use avocado. And if you've done past projects with us, you know for some reason every month we use 0567 Butterfly Gold and 1177 Avocado. I can't tell you, well look, this is how much I use it. Look at my big spool, it's almost empty. We use those 2 colors all the time, it's kind of funny. So I have my white thread in my machine, I have my file downloaded, and I have it loaded, and what I'm going to do is start. And I am a thread holder. I hold my thread and then I trim it, and then Mom, close your eyes. I drop it on the floor. You know. I know.
Messy girl.
So what my machine is doing right now is giving me a nice little basting stitch. Now this stitch isn't really going to be part of your project. It's just a placement guideline for us right now. So what I'm going to do, take my hoop off. And let me just show. Let's see, I don't know which camera's on. I'll show you. Oh, this one. Okay, so we have just a little white line. Nothing too exciting, but that's going to be a really helpful placement. Now, in your pattern, to make sure we get this in the right position, I'm going to just toss that aside. I'm going to take, this is a really cool ruler. We're about to have these on our website, but they're not yet. But what is this called? It's just like a felt ruler?
It's a heat press. You can actually heat on that ruler.
Yeah, so it's an ironable ruler.
Kind of, yes.
Iron-friendly ruler.
I forgot the exact name of it, though.
It's by Clover. It's awesome. We're going to add it to the website. And then these are going on the website today, too. You'll see me use these. They came in. Yay! I'm super excited. So what I'm going to do is fold the bottom of my piece up just 2 inches. And I'm doing that so that I know my applique is in the right position in the hoop. So just give it a little press. Now, what I have set up in front of me, I have my Steady Betty. It's the 12 by 16. We have these on our website, and then we have our Steam Fast travel irons on the website. I personally can't do any project without these two tools. If you had to pick anything, yeah, okay, Mom's looking at my iron. It's dirty.
It's time for a cleaning.
I know. Mom just cleaned her iron, or did you ended up opening a new iron for yourself?
Yeah, because it wasn't plugged in right.
She thought that it had broken, y'all. It wasn't plugged in.
It was like 7 years old.
So it would be okay if it did quit working at 7 years old.
It works just fine.
Yeah, it works just fine. So we can vouch that these will last at least 7 years if you plug it in. Fun fact. Okay, so my hoop. So I have my line, right? It's straight across right here. I'm gonna put my hoop right on my Steady Betty. I have my fabric folded like it says in the instructions. It's kind of hard to hold floppy fabric up, but see, I have 2 inches folded up on the bottom. And I'm just gonna...
Which is the long side.
Of the long side, yeah. And don't worry, in the pattern we tell you a little trick, of course. So you can see I folded it in half. I have a little notch for my middle. I'm just putting my fold right on this line. And it doesn't have to be like exact, y'all. Don't worry, because you're gonna trim this at the end. And then what I'm gonna do, give it a little press so that that little... So that little wrinkle comes out, and then I'm going to tape this in place. Now the tape that I use is called 3M transport tape, and I recommend just going to Amazon and buying it. It's called transport tape. It's also like a medical tape.
It is a medical tape.
What does transport mean?
It allows it to breathe, more or less.
Oh, so that means medical tape. Okay, cool. Didn't know that, but Mom was in the medical field for, well, my whole life until we did this. And so she always had this in her lab coat pockets every day.
Yep.
You would tape the left and right on for the x-rays. So yeah, I have all my fun little pieces. I have my favorite little needles. These are the needles I always use on my embroidery machine. And I always have a little trash can for my little pieces. Makes it handy. Okay,
I want to say hello to Ellen and to Valerie.
Hey, y'all.
They're joining us from Ellen's in Florida and Valerie's in Illinois.
Yay. Ooh, if you're in Florida, you're having some nice weather, probably like us. Oh, look, I came unthreaded, y'all, right when I'm live. We have the doors open in the office right now because it's like pretty nice weather out, don't you think?
Yeah.
So I always come unthreaded when I'm doing live, y'all. It just is what happens. So I'm going to rethread. And then the machine is going to give us our first applique outline is what it's going to stitch. And that is going to be the outline for our really cute white scallop piece on this. So I'm just going to hold it for a second. Alrighty, so now, like I said, I hold my thread and then I just trim it as my machine is sewing. Just be careful when you do that. Don't get your scissors caught in your machine or anything silly. So disclaimer, don't hurt yourself. I mean, you know.
Oh, and also, Robin is doing the classic version.
Oh, doing the classic. Oh, cool.
Her embroidery hoop isn't quite big enough.
Oh, well, that's a bummer. It's really fun. I love doing it the embroidery way.
And then we also want to say good morning to Stephanie from Utah.
Hey!
And
Oh, it is morning for you in Utah.
Or Michael from Bakersfield, California.
Ooh, California. It's morning there, too.
I probably pronounced your name wrong. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But this is her first time watching.
Oh, well, welcome. So what we're doing is making the applique for the front of our Spoolie Bird project bag. And now you're going to see how cool it is that you just iron your pieces right in place. So I'm going to hold the hoop up for y'all to see. So what you have in the hoop is the outline of your first applique piece. Can y'all see that? Am I holding it pretty good?
Nice.
So you have that scallop. Doesn't that look so good?
Yeah.
And this is the exact line that the laser used to cut the pieces that come in your kit. So what you're going to do, you have two. And the reason you have two in your kit is because you want to double line. Not every single time you're working with a light color, but for something like this, when the background is like a pretty bold print, you want to double line your white so that it stays a nice crisp white. Now, not all the time. Sometimes you actually want some of that pattern to show through, but just telling you why we have two. Now this is very easy just to put right in place. And I'm just going to, with a big piece like this, I like to, well, and it's not symmetrical too, so you got to make sure you have it turned the right way, like this. And what I'm going to do is just start at one end with my iron, and I'm going to work my way down. Now, if you want like a super close up of this, that's already in a tutorial that I filmed and it's up on YouTube, okay? So if you're like, hey, I can't see you ironing, don't worry. There's another video with that. And also I'm just ironing, so you know, not too exciting.
And it takes you, what, about 5 seconds to get that pressed?
Mm-hmm. And then with a big piece, you just make sure you have it in place like so. Yeah. And now, so I have one layer down. Now I'm gonna do my second layer, just my second piece right on top, just like so. And I'm gonna give it a press. Press. We were just talking about that at lunch
really
again.
It's really just a lining.
Exactly. So the first piece lined it, and then the second piece is the piece that's actually going to be seen. So a lot of times if you're doing this maybe at home, and I know some of our older kits, what we did for the, we would actually line it before we cut it, and we would line it with muslin. But it's easier really just to give you two of the same piece, so that's why we do it that way. So what you have in your hoop is your little base scallop.
So cute,
isn't it?
I love scallops.
Now we're gonna keep our white thread on. Yeah, scallops are awesome. We're gonna keep our white thread on, and what the machine is gonna stitch now, it's gonna buttonhole stitch around the scallop for us, and then it's gonna give us our first round, or actually it's our second round of applique outlines, right? Because this was our first outline, so now we're gonna have another round of outlines. So this is gonna be pretty cool, and it is really fun to watch the machine stitch this. Like, I love just sitting here watching it. Don't you love watching the machine stitch it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so cool. So it just does a buttonhole stitch around the scallop for you. So while that's going, I'll just kind of chat to you about what tools I like to use. So in front of me I have what I call a perfect stack. And I know the machine's a little loud, so I hope you all can hear me. I'm trying to talk pretty loud. I didn't put my microphone on today. We just got microphones, so we feel fancy, but then I didn't put it on, so. Okay, so I mentioned my Steady Betty. This is awesome for ironing right in front of the machine. So I have it set up. I don't have to get up and go across the room to an actual ironing board. And I already told you about my Steady Betty iron. Or my Steady Betty iron. My Steam Fast iron. Then underneath in my perfect stack, what I have next is my fusing mat. Now the fusing mat, I really, to be honest, don't use it very often when I'm doing anything for the embroidery machine. However, I have just one stack that I always keep in front of me. So this is really helpful if you're doing the classic version of Spoolie Bird or any applique project, because you'll actually build your applique units onto this. And then we're getting to the, like, my favorite parts. So underneath here then, I have my Caterpillar light pad, which is cordless, and I love it. It just plugs in to charge, and then I keep it here without extra cords around me. And then what comes with that is this self-healing mat that comes with the light pad, and it fits perfectly right on top. And then where we get really exciting stuff happening is we have our applique glass. So this is awesome. And again, I don't really use the glass very much with the embroidery machine, except for when I'm trimming at the end. I do keep my glass over between my cutting mat and my light pad. But if you're doing the classic, meaning you're building your applique units on using your placement guide, like how Mom does the classic way, this is game changing. Like, you have to have it.
Awesome.
And I don't remember what this costs, but not much in comparison.
Is it $25?
No, I think it's
$35?
40.
I don't know.
We don't know what it costs. It's on our website. I think it's 40.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It's worth every penny.
It's
and
worth
then some.
it's worth every penny. And what I also love about it is that everything in my pile is like a perfect fit together. So I love that. So I just keep that right on top of my light pad. Then I keep my cutting mat, which I do use a lot. And it kind of grips to the glass, so that's nice. And then I put my fusing mat down, and then my Steady Betty. So this is what I call my perfect stack. So now the machine, just to give you an update on what it's doing, it's done all the buttonhole stitch, which I'll give you a little zoom in a second. It's awesome. And then right now what it's doing is giving us an outline of each of our applique pieces for this base layer that we're doing. So the layers build. So we've done one layer already. Then we're gonna do our second layer, and then we'll do our third layer. I think there's only 3 layers in this particular design. So basically the way we do the embroidery files is you build from the bottom up, just like you would with classic embroidery or classic applique. It's so much fun to do, y'all. I love days at work where what I'm doing all day is like filming the tutorials for this, because I just get to like be back here and do it. And I have it, I'm not gonna show you, my desk is a mess, but right there is my desk. So I truly use the same chair for both. I can just turn around and go straight from what I've been digitizing and straight over here to test it before I send it off to everybody else for their testing with it. So it's a lot of fun. So see, right now what it's about to do is give you the stitching, and it's gonna give you the word for Spoolie Bird, which is super fun to watch it stitch this.
I think it's so cool to watch it stitch.
It is, it's mesmerizing.
So much faster than I can do it. I don't know what it's fascinating and fun to just watch.
To just watch it.
Sit there and watch it.
It really is like, almost like meditation to watch the machine stitch everything.
It's kind of like, you know, when we're doing edge to edge and using the computer on the long arm, we feel the same way, just watching automation basically.
Yeah, actually, well, I think if you go on our YouTube channel and look, we have some old videos where you see, I don't think we have any of the big laser, but you see some of the small lasers cutting. And it's also fun to watch something like that, just to watch all the pieces being cut out. So now what it's doing, it's going in, let me show you what it's stitching. So this is the word spoolie. So it's done the whole outline, and what it's stitching now is the little cutouts inside, so that when we put this down, we make sure we have it absolutely perfect so that the machine stitches it so nicely for us.
And it's so nice that the laser cut that, because I cut mine myself on the original.
Exactly. So no matter if you're doing classic or plus, meaning embroidery, it's cut out for you in your kit, so you didn't have to cut out that little scripty word. Now you do get the applique pieces reversed in your kit, meaning if you want to make another project bag, maybe for like a friend or something like that, you can trace this on the heat and on light and actually cut it out yourself. Ooh, I came unthreaded. See, when I do lives, I come unthreaded like all the time. It's just part of life.
It would happen the other times too.
Yeah, I guess I just don't notice as much because
you're doing lives when you use it.
Yeah, that was deep. Y'all, I know you've heard me say this. My brain has been broken a lot lately. It's doing all right today. So hopefully I'll get through it.
On the floor.
Yeah. It gets vacuumed up though.
But you have a trash bowl that you were so proud to talk about.
I know. Well, okay, normally I don't necessarily throw it on the floor. I have like a big giant red trash can with a little revolving lid that I put here.
When I'm in the room that you feel compelled to throw on the floor.
Well, and also it's on me.
Okay.
There's just something fun about being allowed to throw something on the floor.
That's kind of like me throwing things over the loft at home.
Y'all.
I love to do that.
Yeah, well, it hasn't happened in a while.
Socks,
I was
or my bra, to be honest.
Didn't you get a bra put on the lamp?
No, I've been worried I would.
So when you walk in Mom's house, it's like, you know, the foyer goes all the way upstairs, and there's like a hanging down
It's a chandelier thing.
A chandelier thing. And so Mom would like upstairs, we'd all be sewing upstairs, and she'd be like, I'm taking off my bra. And she'd toss it over the loft. And then, I guess it never has gotten stuck.
It hasn't happened.
Okay, well that's good, but it has always been like a fear of like Mom is then gonna have to call someone tall, probably my husband, to come get down.
How would I get my bra out of the lamp?
So, you know, I don't know how we got on that, but we did. Throwing things.
And how fun it is.
Exactly. So when I changed my thread, I gotta trim my thread from when I rethreaded. And so my scissors, I don't think I talked about those. These are my Karen K. Buckley, and normally I have the medium size with me, and I think I kind of like the medium the best. You have to have these at certain times. So there's small, medium, and large, and I think medium's my favorite.
I like them all.
Yeah, I mean, you do really, if you can have them all, but I don't know where my mediums went, and so I went up to Mom's office and got these just now. They're probably in that pile on my desk that y'all can't see.
Okay, Brittany, here's a question
I got some answers, hopefully.
From Paula. Paula says she's new to applique, so could you please tell me what the difference is between the types of applique?
Absolutely. Okay, so we have two ways that we do it here. Now, there's a ton of different ways to do applique. So we do sewing machine applique, meaning you have your pieces that you get in your kit and or you trace and cut out for machine applique, and you build the unit onto your fabric, you iron it in, and then you use your sewing machine and your favorite applique stitch, like a buttonhole stitch, and you move your piece and literally use your sewing machine and sew it yourself. And then we have what I'm doing right now, which we call plus, because you get your kit plus the embroidery files, and perfect timing to answer this question. Because take a look. We are building the unit right in the hoop using our laser cut pieces. So take a look. We have all of our applique outlines. So I go up. Let's see. There we go. Can y'all see? So that's all the applique outlines. Well, at least for this particular layer. We'll have another layer. So what I'm gonna do is take my pre-fused laser cut applique pieces, like I'm gonna put the beak down first, and I put it right in. So this is called embroidery machine applique. It's different than how other people do embroidery machine applique, because again, you're using laser cut pieces and you're building right in your hoop. Right? Did that answer pretty good?
Yes, and I think that one of the benefits of this way is that you don't have to trim. Your piece comes out looking even more professional than it does the other way.
I mean, well, no, they both look good, but the machine.
No, I'm talking about where the old-fashioned
way of doing the embroidery machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would have to trim with special scissors and.
Yeah, which I don't like doing. I'm sorry. I mean, there's beautiful designs that way.
Generally was not used in that because you wanted to cover up any frayed edges on the laser cut or on the piece itself.
Exactly. Like you know what Mom's saying, like you would trim it and then there's like little frayed edges. So you have to have like a thick satin stitch basically.
Yeah.
Or something similar to that. So I'm just building my pieces down and I'm just putting the little pieces in first. And when you do this, you want to make sure you have your fusible side down.
And another thing that's handy when you're doing this would be tweezers. I would use tweezers.
You can use tweezers, or I actually kind of use my little pointy thing.
Stiletto.
The stiletto. I use very professional words around here, y'all.
The
pointy thing. See, like when I'm getting something little in place like this, I can just use this to like spin it around for me.
You can. That's a good one.
That's how I do it. Of course, I'm going to use my finger right now. Get it facing the right way. Now, the majority of pieces in your Spoolie Bird quilt are not going to be this small. It just happens to be.
It's just very tiny for this.
Exactly, on this one. And
these
again,
are manageable sizes on the others.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just getting these right in place. And then I'm going to give it a little press. Boop. Now the fun part, y'all. Look, we're going to put Spoolie Bird. Aren't you glad you didn't have to cut that out? So I'm just going to start at one end and work my way over, keeping this little guy right in place.
And one of the things that's important when you're doing Brittany's method here is you definitely want to make sure that you get this lined up properly within the guide that the machine stitched.
Exactly, because the machine is going to stitch right back over these same lines. So see? Spoolie. Oh my gosh.
Did you dot your eye?
So cute. I'm about to. Y'all, I'm going to do my eyes last because I'm so scared I'm going to drop it like I did last time. But you know what? You have extra fabric, so if you really did lose your eye, you could cut one out. And there's a fly. Did y'all see that fly? If you really did what?
If you lost your eye, you could cut one out.
Oh, I mean the eye on the... Oh, no, don't do that. How would you sew?
But yes, there is a fly in the building.
There's well, we have the doors open.
The doors are open because it's such a beautiful day here in Florida, so we just open the doors.
It's been raining so much here. It's nice to have some pretty weather. And now my infamous eyes. There's a little piece of fuzz. So here's where I use my little stiletto. See, get that little guy?
Scoop that guy right in place, huh?
And then boop. So
be really
cute.
Careful that you don't put it down backwards because it'll stick to your iron.
Exactly. If you put fusible side up instead of down, you'll iron it to your iron. Don't really recommend that. See? Perfectly in place. Now, I'll show you a little trick too because I just noticed I ironed something a little bad. If you already have it ironed on and you're like, oh, look, see my little my little end of my E wasn't exactly what I wanted, you just kind of heat it again and move it back into place. Look at that. See, you can be tricky with it. I love it. So now we're going to put this back on, still with our white thread. And the machine now is going to give us an outline for our wing and then the two flowers. So fun. So we're just going to put this right back on.
And so you were very careful with your unit as you had it, your hoop, as you had it on your steady bed.
Yes, you definitely want to make sure if you bump your hoop at all, everything's going to be out of line. And that would happen not just with this type of embroidery, but any embroidery project you're doing, you would mess up your project if you jumped it out of place. So you always want to be very delicate and make sure you don't mess with the hooping of your stabilizer or anything like that. Look at that. One more little outline for us, and then we'll iron our pieces on, and then we're going to do our color changes, which is where it's really fun to watch it stitch.
I can't wait for the last stitch. I think it's the last stitch, the pink where you have it going.
Oh, that's actually the very first thing next.
Oh, is it? I love this. Brittany found a wonderful, or did a wonderful stitch for us.
I love this stitch. It takes a minute for it to do it, but it's worth it. So now, see, that's why, like, isn't that great to have that Steady Betty right here? And it's perfect for my 8x12 hoop. Love it. So just going to put my little wing in place. And you can see, perfect fit right here. There we go. Iron it in. And now we have our two flowers. Our two flowers are a little different. The one on top is just a smidge bigger. So we'll get this little guy right in place. There we go. And then one more piece. Oh my gosh, so cute. Wait till you start seeing it stitched. I mean to tell ya. There we go. So now it's time for our first color change from white. So I'm going to put this back on. And then the machine, it depends on what kind of machine you have. I have like a little screen that tells me what numbers are coming. No, I keep it there so I don't lose it.
Oh, okay.
And so then I take my spool. That's the other thing I love about these Sulky spools. They pop open and closed and hold the ends of your thread, which I love. Then I'm just going to put this on. And now it's going to do a chain stitch for us. And it's also going to stitch around the word Spoolie Bird. And then our two pink flowers. So sorry, I have like a little routine I do. I always put my thread, spool it back up before I start the next one. I can't break my little habit. Okay, this is so fun to watch, y'all. How cute, you guys. So this is a little chain stitch, and it's going over each little chain or circle 3 times. And it just adds such a fun accent on it. So what it's stitching, for those of y'all just joining us, we are stitching this out on the machine. So right now it's going around with this. So fun to have a project bag to store your block of the month in all year. I love that. I'm going to close my tool up so I don't poke myself.
For other things too.
Yeah, once you're done with your quilt, I mean, this can be like your favorite little thing. I love zipper bags to hold my thread while this is stitching because it's got a few minutes on this. Yeah. We'll do some comments and questions and stuff in a second because this takes about 5 or 6 minutes. So this is a project bag from last year. Super cute, right? Look at the big sunflower on the back. And I did this totally in the embroidery machine. Because of the size of this one, I was able to build the bag and the hoop. The bag for Spoolie Bird is too big to build in your hoop. You'd have to re-hoop it several times, and honestly, at that point, it's easier just to sew it on your sewing machine. But the applique part is a breeze on your embroidery machine. So I'm going to show you my little threads. Look at this. Is this not just like the happiest little bag of thread? I love them. These are all my 40 weights. So what I've started doing, you know, we have thread kits for most all block of the months. Not all of them, because some of them are like kind of repeats, so we don't want to have too many thread kits exactly alike. But I've started taking one of each one for myself. I don't have any over here. I thought I did. And so I have them in. I do.
Or you just
That's where I got these for. No, I'm not hoarding them. Do you hear that? So these are from my bag, the ones I'm using right now. Actually, I'm done with white. I'll put it away. Now, I also have like a cute little rack up here, but I haven't been using that because, well, I don't know why. For some reason, putting it in a bag is just making me like super happy. So I'm keeping it in the bag.
Well, it's a cute bag.
I mean, is that not the cutest bag? I know y'all want that. It'll come back. Don't worry. We'll bring this design back. Right?
Yeah.
Sure. Mom's like, sure. But it's a fall design, so it'll come back in the fall or closer to the fall. Do we have any questions?
No.
No questions for me. Come on, y'all. Show me some love. Also, sometimes it just doesn't refresh well, no matter how many times you refresh it, so. It's just mesmerizing to watch this. You shouldn't put your finger in there while it's sewing, but it's really fun. It feels good. Is that not so cute?
It's very cute.
And aren't you glad you don't have to do that? So for those of you, I know there's some of you watching that are doing classic, right? So that means you're using your sewing machine. When Mom did hers, you actually did hand embroidery.
Yeah, I just did a stitch, or like a running stitch around.
Yeah, around it. So you can pick any kind, like if you're using your sewing machine and not the embroidery machine, you can pick whatever kind of fun stitch you want. Or you can do it like Mom did and do just a little bit of hand work. And what thread did you use? Did you use a 30 weight or did you pull out a 12 weight?
Two strands of 30 weight.
2 strands of 30 weight if you want to do an accent stitch by hand. Just a fun little tip.
But you can use any kind of decorative stitch on your machine if you found one you like. I would recommend testing it somewhere first.
Yeah, like on a scrap before you put it on your... It's been bugging me that I keep wrinkling this while I'm talking. There we go. I mean, is this not so cute? I love it.
It's adorable, I think.
It really, there's something about the chain stitch. Yeah, so the eyeball you do a French knot, and I just haven't done. We're talking about eyes a lot. I'm an eyeless bird. What can I say? So cute though. I love it. So for the next several steps, like your hard work is done now. Like you've got all your pieces in place. And now the machine, for those of you doing the embroidery machine applique version, you just watch your machine stitch for you. And you chill out, get a cup of tea. It's Pizza Friday here at the office, so don't tell anybody, but I have a sun-kissed. I'm gonna grab it. So every Friday here at the office, we order pizza. Shout out to Papa John's. They make a really good thin crust. And my little cheat is the orange sun-kissed. I love it. So I'm gonna have a sip because I'm talking a lot. Cheers.
Happy stitching.
And cheers to happy stitching. So it's almost done with the chain stitch, and then it's gonna go around and stitch the word Spoolie bird and the 2 flowers. So it's really just doing all the work for you. It's kind of amazing. And then after that, we're just gonna have thread color changes. So we'll sit here, and next we'll put on the butterfly gold, and that's gonna do just 2 really quick stitches around the little yellow parts of the flower. Then we'll put on the teal, which is $10.95. Yeah, $10.95, and it's gonna stitch our bird, most important part. And then the avocado $11.77 is gonna stitch around the 2 little green leaves, and it's also gonna do a triple stitch to give you your leaves. You guys, I might be boring everybody. Mom has fallen asleep.
I am not asleep.
Oh, I was like, I saw you look at her. I was like, what's Mom doing? Mom's falling asleep. I hope I'm not boring y'all.
I'm not asleep.
Am I boring you?
No, I'm watching this.
Oh, through your eyelids.
Yeah, and I'm full.
Because of Pizza Friday.
Why don't you wave to them?
Yeah, come, Mom, come and say hi.
Because I didn't put any makeup on today. You can't.
You look good. You can't. Yeah, you do look good. Come say hi.
I really am here.
I know y'all all come to the channel just to watch Mom anyway, so she's got to make an appearance.
Of course not. Of course not. They like to look at you.
I just have so much fun with the embroidery machine applique. I mean, this is my job. I do this full time. It's kind of great.
I don't even think I hardly even know how to work that thing.
It's really a breeze. So you can use any kind of embroidery machine that you have. The only thing that matters in terms of using Stitches of Love embroidery files is truly your hoop size. You just have to have an 8" by 12" hoop for all of our projects. I don't think we have anything that has a smaller hoop right now.
No, we should, but we don't.
We should. We have so many new projects coming for y'all. And I'll tell you, a lot of it is bottlenecked with like literally me finishing the pattern for y'all.
Okay, so Dee says she's a little bit late, so she's wondering what you're making. And Dee, also, we could see your messages, but I think it's rather slow for them to pop up.
Yeah, so when we're doing a live, for some reason, it doesn't, like, this happened on Monday, too. It happens every time we do a live. We refresh to, like, see more comments, and it doesn't give us all of it, because I'll look at it later. Like, the other day on Monday, then I saw later Sandra was there, and I was like, oh, I couldn't say hi to Sandra because I didn't see it while we were doing it live. So in any case,
what we're making.
What I'm making is we are doing the embroidery machine applique for the front of the project bag for Spoolie Bird. So Spoolie Bird is a new block of the month, well, a revamped version of our original block of the month from back in the day, made even cuter if that was even possible. And so when you sign up, your starter kit is a project bag. So throughout the year of making your quilt, you can put your block in a cute little bag every month. And I didn't bring the bag back here because, quite honestly, it's in the building somewhere. Oh, there's a picture of it. You can see the picture. This way, that way. Which way? That way. There's the picture of the bag, Mom holding the bag. And the actual bag is lost in the building. So I'm holding my sample from when I made the original. It's in the building.
We just don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's unfindable at the moment. It's probably on my desk. Who knows? Y'all can't see my desk, and it's good y'all can't. Right? Oh, look, I have a little thread. If you ever have like a weird little thread or something, don't panic while it's stitching. Just let it do its thing, and then you can get it at the end. It just jumped up my little end of my eave, but I'll fix it in a second. You can pretty much fix anything, don't you think? I'll just zap it with an iron. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And actually, if the machine
No,
goes...
don't do it now.
I'm gonna. See, I zapped my little... There we go. See, so now the word spoolie is all stitched, and our two flowers are stitched. The little chain stitch is done, so now it's just gonna finish going around the word bird. Look how fast it goes.
Yeah, I don't do that now.
So I took the stitch length and width on this down to 2.5 by 1.5. So my bite in is down to a 1.5 on this. Because when I'm doing something like this, I don't want my stitches to like overlap on each other. So I take it down really small. And a fun thing, like I think people kind of think they have to pick one stitch size on a particular block, and you don't have to. You can mix it up.
No,
like up here I did 2.5 by 2.5. Down here is 2.5 by 1.5. And then around the little eyes, I think I went 1.5 by 1. Like really, really small. Because again, if you go too much, you'll just demolish like the little dot on your eye and things like that. So much fun to watch.
If you don't do enough, you would, your eye might, the dot might fall
would
off.
come off, exactly. But for you doing the embroidery machine version, you don't have to think about any of that. You just put it in there and it does it for you. But I always like to kind of talk about like the thought process behind the stitch sizes, because if you're doing the classic version, it might help to kind of hear the stitch length and width that we use, so you can play with your embroidery machine that way. Oh, I came unthreaded.
Did you?
I did. I saw it happening. Okay, so I don't know how your machine is. Every machine is different. I don't know all of them. But all I do is I have a little button where I can just go back. And so all I do is just go back in stitches. What, we got a question while I'm rethreading?
Well, no, Dee just commented. She said she loves my hair. It's so pretty. Thank you.
Mom has good hair. I don't have Mom's hair. It's a shame. You have awesome hair, and so does Grandma. Grandma has hair like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I got in trouble for saying that. I don't know.
No, it's just really, that made me giggle, so thank you.
You do have awesome hair.
I'll put up a picture of you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, you look really good in that picture.
Oh, okay.
Mom looks so good because of the color of her hair when she wears black. You do. And like that, you have black on today. Or show everybody your nails. I know we keep talking about your nails.
I have to go get my fingernails done.
So Mom is like, what do you call it, pink and whites or French tip or whatever for
Always.
my whole life, or red.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like what, a fair and red square? Did you see her little hand come through with the black nails?
I have it on the screen over here.
Oh, there you go. You can see it on the screen. There you go. So
yeah.
She always does the same thing. And like at the nail salon, I always pick like weird colors for my toes, and Mom's like, oh my gosh.
And the girl, she says, do you want a color today? And I said, yes. And she said, what color do you want? And I said, you know what? I think I'll do black.
So
and
one
she
time,
got so excited.
She was so happy. Well, then it turns out she had black nails too, but it looks so good. I love it.
I have to go get them fixed.
At the beginning of COVID, I started doing my own nails because we couldn't go to the salon. And I'm sure y'all can look back at the video tutorials. I had some weird colors, but I'm loving the black nails.
I'm probably not getting black the next time.
What are you going to do? You got to do something funky.
Something springy, like pink.
Here, I'm going to take this off just to show you what's stitched, okay, y'all? But you don't need to take it off at this step. I'm just doing it because I want y'all to see. Look at that. Is that not perfect? I mean to tell ya. absolutely flawless. Thanks, machine.
Well, the digitizing helps.
And thanks
as well.
me for digitizing it.
Yeah.
Truly, how much fun is my job, y'all? This is what I do. Play with my embroidery machine all day, every day. Well, not all day, every day.
Remember that.
Sometimes
the next
y'all,
time.
sometimes
The
y'all
next
make
time
me
you don't
count
wanna come to
stuff.
work. Remember that.
Yeah, Wednesday, y'all, I had a mental health day, and I have or Tuesday.
I don't know.
One day this week, Tuesday, because yeah, Maria was at the house, and I have no shame in that. I was not. I
just wasn't feeling
I
it.
wasn't making sense, and Steven was like, I feel you should stay home today. And I was like, I feel I should too. So I did. But in my defense, we do work 7 days a week. So, you know, a day off isn't bad. Okay, so I've loaded my butterfly gold. And the machine, did I come unthreaded? No, I stayed threaded. It is going to stitch the little bird beak. And then it's going to stitch the 2 little bitty yellow parts of the flower centers. And this step, honestly, by the time I'm done spooling this thread, it's going to be ready to change. Next, we're going to put on the teal for our bird. So cute. I'll hold it up just for y'all to see in a second. It's got one little piece. So the pink took a while to stitch, right? Because there was a ton of pink to stitch. But those next few steps, breeze. So we're almost done. So stay with me. Stay with me. Don't leave me. Right? And slap the little, it's a bell, right? To get the, to make sure you follow for all our lives.
For notification.
For notification. So here's the yellow stitched. I need to tell ya. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. And next, we are going to put on the teal. There we go. See if my machine just like threaded itself. I mean, I guess if the machine threaded itself, it might not even count as me making it. So I guess I have to do something.
Okay, so Dee says she's assuming this is a project in a kit that we can buy.
Absolutely. This is the starter kit for our Spoolie Bird block of the month. So if you visit stitchesoflovequilting.com and then on the homepage of our website, like you scroll like a little bit and you'll see the picture of Spoolie Bird. You can go and it tells you all about the block of the month. And this specifically is the project bag that you can use to hold your blocks throughout the year of making the quilt with us. And then after you're done making your quilt, you have an awesome project bag to use on anything.
Well, when we do a block of the month, we like to do a starter kit that gives you some of the techniques or something that's done in that particular block of the month. And this particular one had paper piecing.
Yeah.
So a little bit of paper piecing.
You get to do the paper piecing for a little strip on the back, and then all the half square triangles that are in this Spoolie Bird block are done with your sewing machine and the foundation paper piecing that's provided in your kit. And don't be scared of foundation paper piecing, y'all. It's so easy. Like, actually, the more I do foundation paper piecing, I'm like, you know, this is so much more accurate than just piecing. So I love it. I'm really loving it.
Yes, and also Dee wants you to tell her what machine you're using.
Oh, yes. I get that question all the time. I should get a little sticker because everybody asks that. Okay, so this is a Brother Innovis VE2200, and it's called a Dreammaker XE. So it's definitely not like the least expensive machine, but it's definitely not the end-all be-all.
It's mid-range. It's only an embroidery machine. It does not stitch
no
regular
sewing,
stuff.
just embroidery.
However, I don't think they make this particular model anymore.
Oops.
But I'm sure they have an upper...
Yeah,
They've
you
changed it. They just changed it.
To me, when you're picking out an embroidery machine, the things that matter to me, I like to have a screen of some sort. I like for it to take an 8x12 hoop, or bigger would be really cool. And then I like to have it where there's a button to thread it for me. I mean, I still have to put the thread
I think most
to
of
it.
them do now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm thinking back when I was a kid, like in '93, you had that one, and it was like,
yeah,
it would have been easier just to sew it yourself than wait for the machine to thread.
It didn't thread. You had to thread it yourself.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like the machine to do it, right? So here's the little bird stitched. So now the only thing that's left to stitch is around the 2 little green leaves, and then it's going to give us our little accent lines for the stems. And then we're going to be done. So if y'all have questions, come with me now, because we're getting to the end already. This was fast, I feel. Well, probably not for y'all. I thought it was fast. You think it was fast?
I'm okay, yeah.
Yeah? We like to do, what time do y'all like us to do the lives? I think we get a lot of good response from 1 p.m. because it's kind of like lunchtime, you know, or maybe if you're on the West Coast, you're just leisurely getting your day going.
Lori says, is this magic?
It is magic. It is magic, isn't it?
And Dee has a brother embroidery machine.
Oh, good. Don't you love it? I mean, have I ever worked with one that wasn't a brother?
Baby lock. My first one was a baby
lock. Okay, well that's not really a good comparison because it was
the
so long ago.
The reason we bought this brother was because a commercial embroidery machine sales rep told us this was the best kind to buy.
Exactly. We believed him.
So far it's done wonderfully.
Knock on wood. And so now I just have to trim my little thread because, you know, I hold my thread at the beginning, y'all. You have to sing with your machine. I don't know if all machines sing when they're done, but this one does, and it makes me really happy.
Heck, now my washing machine and dryer sing to me.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes when you're at your house and like, you don't know you're like, is that the washer, the dryer, the microwave, the refrigerator? I don't know.
Something's beeping.
Something's beeping. Or now at my house, every door beeps every time you open it. I'm like, good Lord. That does kind of like drive me nuts every door you open.
What's funny now too is, you know, if you're watching something on TV and their thing beeps, then you're like, what?
I know.
The other day I was like, do I have something in the dryer?
Like,
you know.
Yeah, what was it the other day? I was like, I heard something, I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, it was a commercial. And I was like, okay, well, we have the same dryer or something. Right? Like, okay, so now we're all done.
Yay.
So, I get a lot of questions about stabilizer. So I'm going to answer some questions about stabilizer that we get a lot.
Here, I'll take that.
You want to take my hoop? Thank you. Okay, so first off, let's show off. I mean, honest to Pete, you can't get more perfect. Look at that. Okay, so now my stabilizer, I take it out of the hoop and I just tear it off. See how easy this is to tear? Let me tell you about my stabilizer. We carry this on our website, stitchesoflovequilting.com, and this is called the Sulky Tear Easy Stabilizer. It comes on a spool that is 12 inches wide. This is mine. And then it's 33 yards long or 33 feet long?
I don't remember.
Something. You can do at least one, maybe two block of the months with one roll. That's how I measure things, is in block of the months, because, you know, it's my world. And so look at it. You can see through it. So from the screen, you're probably like, ooh, that's a little too lightweight. Not at all. I don't know how they do it, but it's like sturdy enough to like hold your project in your hoop, but so easy to tear away. And then, fun fact, I use this on the embroidery machine. And Mom, who has been quite picky about stabilizer over the years.
I have been.
She really, yeah.
I have not ever found one I liked
until this one. And what's so funny is the one that we picked that we like so much is from our friends at Sulky, which we use everything Sulky.
For years.
For years. How we didn't use this sooner? You can't be smart at everything, you know? Sometimes you gotta come to things that way. You know, what are you doing with the hoop? Oh, you getting all my tape off?
Yeah, I don't want it on here.
Oh, okay. So then I always get the question of, do I take the rest of the stabilizer out of my design? And I'm going to tell you that Mom would take off even in between, like behind the little leaves. Mom would even pick that stabilizer out. I don't. I take like the big chunks of it off. Now, if I'm talking about like my actual quilt block that's going to go in my quilt, yeah, but on a zipper bag, I'm a little less picky. But Mom, you're you want everything to be perfect.
All the time.
Exactly. So all you do is just kind of score it. So I'm just taking the pointy needle. So these on the Karen K. Buckley, they're a really sharp tip, which is really handy. So see, I just take it and barely score it because of course you don't want to go through your fabric. And then take a look. I'm not really being gentle at all. And it just tears right out and it doesn't hurt my stitches, which is awesome. Doesn't that tear away so nicely? So I get a lot of questions about this.
It's called Tear Easy.
Tear Easy. They named it right. I like how they name stuff at Sulky. They have Sulky Stick and Stitch. You literally stick it and stitch it. And then this is Tear Easy, and you truly just tear it off easily. So see, you just go through and pull it off. And so now what you would do is go to your pattern that you get in your kit, and you're going to finish the rest of this with your sewing machine. So you're going to assemble your bag, which is super easy to do. I mean, like, kind of growing up, you always think like zippers are hard or something. I'm sure they are if you're doing like clothes. But making a zipper bag, it's not hard at all, y'all.
Zippers really aren't that hard if you take them one little stitch at a time. You know,
one stitch at a time.
One step at a time. And just like making a quilt, one little bit at a time, and it all works out.
Exactly, like a block of the month. It makes it so easy because you just do it.
Don't ask me to put together a car engine. I'm sure they do it one bit at a time too. But
we would just live in the parking lot. We wouldn't get out of the parking lot if we had to do it.
No.
No, that's one thing. Oh, I don't know why that made me think of car troubles. No one wants car troubles. Or sewing troubles. No sewing troubles allowed. So, super easy to tear out your stabilizer. Of course, tear out around here, you know, in your little scallop. I'm not going to make you watch me do that. But this is the front completed. So, let me show you the pattern again. So, now where we are in the pattern. Where are we? We've done all the machine embroidery. So, what I would do next is sew my little French knot for the spoolie bird eyes. And then, the next step that you get to do, for those of you who are doing the embroidery, you would then do your foundation paper piecing, which I'm just going to give you a quick preview. We give you really easy pictures to follow. And then we did a live tutorial for this last week. So if you just look on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, you'll be able to go back and see all of those. And if you're a member of the club, you just log into your account and click on memberships, and there's pages with your tutorials right there, so you don't have to look for them. But yeah, do we have any more questions?
No.
What?
Shirley says that she likes stabilizer too, since
it's great,
since we
right?
mentioned it during the Hedgies video. She loves it.
Yeah, I think the Hedgies is the first quilt we started using it on.
That one.
This stabilizer. Yeah. And before, we were telling everybody about deli paper. Costco's.
Not for this, not for the machine embroidery.
Oh, no, not for the embroidery. Yeah, what I used before this was OESD, which I have no complaints against it, but this is much easier to tear away. OESD is a perfectly wonderful brand as well. This just, to me, happens to be my favorite. Team Sulky. Plus, we love our friends at Sulky.
I would look for the perfect stabilizer, and I never found it. Till now.
And then once we started carrying this, it was like really funny. A lot of y'all were like, duh, we've been using that for a while. Where have y'all been? We were like, we don't know.
We've been hung up on threads.
Yeah. It's really fun. A little, a fun announcement. I don't know if y'all remember last year, the 30 weight thread that you use for the classic. We had, they spooled, our friends at Sulky truly had their manufacturing plants in Germany and Italy spool special petite spools of thread like this, but with a 30 weight. And so we ordered our core group of colors and, like, you know, had to order a lot of them. And we're like, I hope this works and everyone likes it. Well, fun fact, they're a hit. And so I think we're like a year into those. And so Sulky's going to be expanding the colors for us and for them. They're going to carry them as well now.
I think they used us as a guinea pig.
I think we were the guinea pigs, and I'm glad it worked.
I kept bugging them for a couple years. Like, couldn't we just have these on smaller spools?
It's because you don't, like, to me, well, except for like maybe a few core colors, you'll want like a bigger spool eventually. But for a lot of stuff, you don't need giant spools of every color because you're never going to use them. Really funny, I have some giant spools of thread that aren't Sulky that are from like years ago, and I'm scared to use them.
I have Madeira from
I wonder if it's still good.
Yeah, it is. It's fine.
Oh.
It's just fine.
I guess thread does not expire. I'd be scared. I guess it's not avocado. You know. But yeah, so this is awesome. The threads from our friends at Sulky are awesome. And you know what's even more awesome? A stitchesoflovequilting.com block of the month. So for those of you you like that transition, Mom's like, really, Brittany?
Oh my gosh.
But if you, but if you're not a member of one of our fun block of the months, I definitely invite you to try that. If you want to try one of our kits first, just go on and order a little kit, get it in the mail. We have some really fun Easter ones coming out this next week because it's going to start our fun springtime with Stitches of Love, which is going to be super cute. Get ready for some bunny ears and cuteness. Yeah?
Sure.
And then we already have stuff planned for Mother's Day. We have the whole year planned. It's just so much cute stuff for y'all. So do me a favor, click the little bell so you know when we're going to go live again. Slap the little, I have a lot of to-do lists for y'all. Sorry about that. Slap the little heart so you can tell me you liked the tutorial and that you had fun watching it. So I'm not just sitting here lonely talking to my iPhone on a tripod.
Well, you were talking to
and to y'all, of course. Yeah, you know, but I'm saying, like, give me some love. And then also visit stitchesoflovequilting.com. And even if you're not ready to try something yet, opt in to get our emails because you never know. You want to know about all the fun stuff we have coming out. So I think that covers it for today. I hope everybody has an awesome Friday. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you had fun. And look at this. Was that not just delightful in the middle of your Friday? It just makes me happy. I can't hide it. So I think that's it, y'all. Thank you for joining me, and happy stitching.